Hello and welcome to the Kenneth for Cameron Law Office Legal Podcast, the NJ Laws Tube. In this edition, we look at elder law tips and estate planning ideas. Now, number one, what happens if you don't have a will? Well, if you don't have a will or the will is declared invalid because it was improperly prepared or non-admissible to probate, one, state law determines who gets your assets, not you. Two, there's additional expenses that will be incurred and extra work required to qualify an administrator. Things such as a surety bond, additional costs, and additional legal fees. Three, a judge determines who gets custody of any children. Four, there's possible additional state inheritance taxes or federal taxes because you didn't do any proper planning. If you have no spouse or close relatives, the state may take your property. The procedure to distribute assets becomes more complicated, and it may cause fights and lawsuits within your family. When the loved ones are grieving and dealing with death, they shouldn't be overwhelmed with financial concerns or with fights. So, preparing a will, think of who don't you want to receive your assets? Who is not the best choice to raise children or safeguard your children's money or grandchildren's money for college? Do you want your children or grandchildren to get money when they turn 18? Let's see, would they invest it wisely or go to Seaside and play games? So it's a call to action. What are some of the clauses that should go into the will? Number one, debts and taxes paid. Two, any specific requests or anyone specifically not to receive anything. Three, disposition to spouse and occasionally a trust to a spouse. Occasionally the spouse will not get money for Medicaid and nursing home reasons. Four, disposition of the remainder, such as who else gets the money. Five, sometimes there's a creation of a trust for a spouse. Six, trust for children. Often you always want a clause saying that anyone under the age of 21 should not inherit directly, but rather be held for them, but can be used for education, for maintenance, things like that, because it's not a good idea for 18-year-olds to get any money. Now, a will must be prepared within legal requirements for each state, and also so it leaves no question as to what your intentions are and who would get things if one of the other beneficiaries that you have passes away. Now, even if you have a will, periodic review is essential. Why? Well, there's many things that could affect and require changes in your will, such as the marriage, death, birth, divorce, or separation affecting you or anyone named in your will. Two, significant changes in the value of your assets or specific things you own. Three, a change in domicile, where you live. Four, the death or incapacity of a beneficiary or of one of your executors. You also want to look into the annual changes in tax law and changes who you want to get your assets. Are you able to change your will? Certainly, as long as you're competent, you can change your will. I'd say, and if someone has just like one or two changes, a document called a codicil can be prepared by their attorney. So it's important that you have a valid will, that it's up to date. Other things for estate planning include preparations of power of attorney. A will takes care of your assets in the event you pass away. A power of attorney is if you're disabled temporarily or permanently, where you're giving a family member or other trusted person the ability to pay your bills and handle your finances. Other documents that are important include a living will in the event someone's in a coma, and some people also deal with funeral instructions ahead of time, letters of instruction. Other issues in planning include life insurance trust, Medicaid trust, and as long as it's best to do the planning while someone is well. And for additional information dealing with estate planning and elder law, go to website njlaws.com. That's njlaws.com, njlaws.com, or call the law office of Kenneth for Cameron, 732-572-0500. We're at 2053 Woodbridge Avenue, Edison, New Jersey, 08817. Thank you and good luck.